You're about to get a helmet full of football coverage. High school, college, pro. It's Gridiron Wrap on 760 WJR. Sponsored by Skinny Butcher Premium Proteins. Now here are Pro Football's 2025 Hall of Fame Award of Excellence honoree Bill Keenist and football analyst Alex Ziolkowski.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Gridiron Wrap on WJR, the great voice of the Great Lakes. And not that we needed any reminder that it's football season, but just a peek outside today, Alex. And you know that it's football season. It feels like football, looks like football, and it is football.
Yeah, I mean, usually I hate the rain. It's my least favorite weather by far. But when you have a full Sunday of NFL on, you know, it's not that bad. When you just get to sit inside and watch all day, yeah.
No, nobody's going to complain about that. Speaking of the NFL, let's start with some updates on the games in progress and some surprises. And then, you know, maybe it would have been a surprise a few weeks ago, but not so much anymore. The Giants are leading the Broncos in Denver, 13-3, midway through the third quarter. Jackson Dart, that move just seems to have energized the whole team in many respects. Not uncommon. It happens. You know, football is the ultimate team game. It's ultimate momentum game. And when you have apparently, again, all three units believing in your quarterback, it goes a long way. And they went into the season with a good defense, Alex. So the question was the offense, but to be shutting out Denver in Denver and leading at this point in the game is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's super impressive. And a lot of people's criticism about when the Giants started playing Jackson Dart was about how many good defenses he would have to face in the Chargers, Eagles, and Broncos. Yeah. But he's been doing a great job against all of them. While a lot of people thought it was just kind of a desperation move out of Dable, it seems like he was really ready to go in practice. And so far today, halfway through the third quarter, he already has over 200 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's clearly ready to go. And yeah, just talk about an amazing turnaround for a team that already was pretty good on the defensive side of the ball. That just offenses kept stalling out in them. But when you have that D-line with a competent quarterback, like this team's going to win a lot of games down the stretch here.
No doubt. And momentum is a real thing. And the emotional factor of a football team is profound. I recall, I think it was last week's game, watching a highlight or a clip, and Dart was coming off the field after a scoring play, and he connected with Dayball, and just the look on Dayball's in his eyes was so profoundly positive and supportive and thrilled. You could just sense something that this is a move that Dayball probably wanted to do and was hoping to get a chance to do early enough where the season could be salvaged. And so, they're, who knows what's ahead for them. Another game in progress, and we've talked about it off air, even on air. The Colts can't be considered a surprise anymore. I mean, 31-10 at the home of the Harbaughs in LA. I mean, who would have thought? I thought the Chargers would have probably won that game. It would have been a close game. You know, the Colts would have given them a battle, but for the Colts to be up that big in the second half at LA against the Chargers it's just a testament to how good Daniel Jones is not only playing, but leading that team.
Yeah, completely. They're playing against one of the best defensive teams in the NFL. Jesse Minter is one of the best coordinators in this league. He's a prime candidate for a head coaching job this offseason. And the Colts are averaging 5 yards a carry right now throughout this game. They're just running all over them. Daniel Jones has another 213 yards of his own. Like, yeah, we were talking about this. Like, this is a big enough sample size with this Colts team. They are no longer a fluke. Assuming they hold on to this lead, which there's a lot of time left, and you never know in this league. But they're up three touchdowns right now, 21 points. This is not a fluke team. They're going to move to 6-1. They might be competing for a 1 seed down the stretch if they keep playing like this. They're just it's insane how well they're playing.
It really is, and I think the key, as we talked about with the Giants, the momentum factor, the emotion factor. And we've mentioned this before earlier, with the passing of Mr. Irsay this year and how much the players just love that man, Jim Irsay. And I'm not saying that's the reason why they're playing so well, but everything matters. And I'm sure that's a part of it, the emotional reality of losing an owner that had a great relationship with his players. It certainly would help and not hurt. So a lot of season left, as you mentioned, but still the Colts, on their way to 6-1. Holy mackerel. Another team that has been hanging around a little, and it's hard to say the Cowboys and hanging around, but they've had their issues the last few years. They get CeeDee Lamb back, and they go along with George Pickens. I mean, as formidable a duo of receivers in the league, and then you add in Dak Prescott, who some say is playing his best ball now. So they're at a point where they can, take some steps. They're leading the Commanders late in the first half, 20-15. So the Cowboys are a team to be reckoned with, no doubt, and a future opponent of the Lions at Ford Field the week after Thanksgiving, I believe, that game. And, the Arizona Cardinals, I think, have been in most games this year. So it should be no surprise that they're not only battling the Packers out in Arizona, but they're leading. They're still leading 13-6 with about 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Packers are in for a battle. I mean, the Cardinals are 2-4, so still in the fight in that division. So, the fact that it's a long season, 17 games, an expanded playoff, it all matters.
Yeah, and the Cardinals, they're a good team. Despite their 2-4 record, those 4 losses are about a combined 9 points so far this year. So they are really just a few bad bounces away, turned good bounces for them from being a team that's really in playoff contention. Like that game against Tennessee a few weeks ago during the show was just one of the wackiest endings ever. Having an interception stripped within the 5-yard line and then picked up in the end zone for a touchdown. Like that's just a terribly unlucky bounce. So yeah, this is a really good team. And, for us Lions fans, hopefully they hold on and give the Packers another loss.
Yeah, that would be music to every Lions fan's ears. Speaking of teams out west, even though they were across the pond today, the Matthew Stafford and company Rams put a beat down on the Jaguars, and I was surprised at that. I thought they were both 4-2 going into the game, and the Rams did something unique. They traveled yesterday to London.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know that I've ever heard of any team going. I've heard of teams going late in the week, maybe Friday, but it appears Sean McVay treated it like a regular road trip, and we're going to leave the day before game. Now, one caveat to that is they stayed east last week. They practiced at in Baltimore.
Yeah, the Orioles Stadium,
yeah, and there were some highlights of Matthew pitching off the mound. I'm sure the players had a ball with that. So there was some logic to that. I mean, the Rams are used to making long trips. So from Baltimore, that was probably a 5.5, 6 hour plane ride. Not exceptionally longer than if they're going from LA to New England to Boston or to Miami. So in those long road trips, those international games, to me, it's what the head coach emphasizes, what he makes an issue and doesn't make an issue, and it's just how you approach it mentally. I know teams. I mean, when I was with the Lions, there were years we went over on Monday, on Sunday after a game. Teams have done it every different way, but I think it's how you prepare your team mentally as much as physically that really makes a difference in how you approach that game. So yeah, the Rams, Matthew, 5 touchdown passes. He's having, at least statistically, one of his best years ever this year. So that division is going to be real interesting as the season goes on.
Yeah, it will be. It's always one of the most fun divisions in the NFL to watch. And yeah, Rams played a great great game this morning. That trial strategy really is interesting as well, because talk about one of the few times where a West Coast team might actually have an advantage in traveling somewhere, just because, like you said, they're used to that long flights. And the Jaguars as well, not to discount the Rams, but talk about just a disastrous day at the office for them. They allowed 7 sacks in the game today. They committed 13 penalties for 120 yards, only ended up being 3 of 15 on third down, and had 4 missed fourth down conversions. So great game by the Rams, but really just ugly showing from a pretty good Jaguars team.
No doubt. Well, we got more to go over from earlier today regarding the NFL. We'll keep you updated on the current games, and we will be back after a break on Gridiron Wrap, WJR 760, the great voice of the Great Lakes.
Hi friends, Bill Golling here, and it's been a great year for the expanding Golling Automotive family. Now even more of you can feel and experience the Golling difference by stopping by the new Golling Chevrolet on Michigan Avenue in Wayne, or one of our 4 Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram locations in Grosse Pointe, Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, and Roseville, or visit Golling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham, Golling Warren, or Golling Kia in Madison Heights, are always at Golling.com.
Since 1980, Grand Traverse Resort and Spa has been a Michigan vacation tradition where family memories last for generations. Your perfect Michigan vacation starts here. Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Book your getaway at grandtraverseresort.com.
Looking for heart-pounding action and unforgettable family fun? Welcome to USA Hockey Arena, where champions are made and memories are born. From thrilling youth tournaments to elite national development team matchups, it's more than a rink. It's the pulse of American hockey. Whether it's a night out with your family, a birthday party for a child, or corporate event for your business, USA Hockey Arena offers amazing hockey and incredible hospitality. Unmatched value at an unbeatable price. Get more hockey at USA Hockey Arena, usahockeyarena.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AUTO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AUTO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code AUTO for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by respected educator Dr. Robert Livernoy. It's a conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by Wakely Associates Architects. The highest performing school facilities start with premier architectural design. Wakely Associates Architects, trusted since 1951.
Coming up Monday on JR Afternoon, 2 o'clock. It's a huge night in Detroit. The Lions welcome in the Bucks for Monday Night Football. We'll preview that. Also, it's your chance to win $1,000 as part of our 5K a day, 760 WJR.
You're listening to Gridiron Wrap on WJR. Sponsored by Skinny Butcher Premium Proteins. Once again, with every football update you need, here are Bill Keenist and Alex Ziolkowski.
Welcome back to Gridiron Wrap. And Alex, you talk about how fast things can change on a Sunday, NFL Sunday. There's been scores in all of the late window games since we updated you a little bit ago. The Chargers got on the board with a touchdown, so now the Colts lead 31-17. With 6 minutes to go in the third. The Giants scored again, and they lead the Broncos in Denver 19-0 with only 2 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the third. The Packers got a touchdown to tie the Cardinals in Glendale. It's 13-13 with a little under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. And the Cowboys scored a late touchdown in the second quarter and they have a 27-15 lead over the Commanders, and that game has gone to halftime. And of course, a big game on WJR tonight, the Sunday night game, the surging Falcons, and like you mentioned in previous weeks, a pretty good defense at the 49ers, who continue to be banged up. But both teams only have 2 losses, so that'll be a big game. And every NFC game obviously affects the Lions, so we know what's in store tomorrow night for the mighty Leos here in Detroit against the tough Tampa team. And it's obviously a key to get over that Kansas City loss. And I'm sure Dan Campbell has done a good job, although it's been a difficult week because of all the, the talk, the discussion, the media surrounding the Brian Branch episode.
Yeah, it was a real tough loss last week. You can point to some external factors on Lions play, but ultimately they need to play better. Dan Campbell, that's definitely the message he's telling them all week long, and they're going to have their work cut out for them. Baker Mayfield's done a great job this year. I mean, you really have to put him away handily because he keeps getting these game-winning drives all year long. And yeah, both teams had the same injury weaknesses in a way. The Lions, obviously, defensive back room isn't great. No Kirby, no Branch, no Terrian. But also for Baker and the Bucs, they have a banged-up receiver room. Both Ibuka and Evans listed as questionable. Still no Chris Godwin for that team. So yeah, going to be an interesting game, and a team that the Lions are going to be competing for the 1 seed and the bye in that playoffs down the stretch. And then tonight on WJR, I'm really looking forward to this Falcons-Niners game. They're two. Raheem Morris and Kyle Shanahan are actually great friends, 2 coaches who are very familiar with each other. So that will be an interesting matchup from the chess piece. But man, these Niners are banged up. And I think that Fred Warner injury last week might be the straw that breaks the camel's back for this team. They just are so hurt with almost all their preseason star impact players, where I'm not really sure to see if they can survive that one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And the Falcons are ascending. Every team's either heading up the mountain or heading down the mountain. Yeah. And the Falcons are definitely a team in the last few weeks have been heading up. But it is key for the Lions to put that game in the rearview mirror from Kansas City. And Kansas City's Kansas City. Okay, they trounced the Raiders today. Mahomes didn't even play in the fourth quarter. They were so far ahead. So they saved him and protected him. But I think one interesting, aspect of tomorrow night's game is the Brian Branch incident and how it lingered through the week, which you really never want that or usually don't. But what we saw was the team rallying around him, especially in light of the video that was released. And I just think it might play a positive rather than a negative factor, just because of the team rallying around him. Not so much during the game. When the whistle, when the ball's kicked off, it's the game. Okay, you're not consciously thinking about stuff, but it's the preparation and the attention to detail, and just the approach to getting ready for, like you say, a very good Buccaneers team. They might get Mike Evans back. He had a full practice yesterday. He's always been a Lion, a difficult player for the Lions to cover. And Baker Mayfield is one of the stories of the year so far. Just remarkable how that guy, and as we talked about with like a Daniel Jones and even a Jackson Dart, that team believes in him, and that no different than the way the Lions believe in Jared Goff. But it'll be really interesting with a depleted secondary, without any of the starters basically, perhaps, against the receiving core that's depleted. But the one thing that I always felt, when you look at receivers and defenders, the receivers know where they're going. Okay. They know where they're going. The defenders don't. Like in clement weather, I think it always favors the offense, because when the footing isn't that secure, the receivers, the running backs, they know where they're going. So it usually doesn't impact them nearly as much as the defensive back. So you might see tomorrow night, a greater focus by the Lions on the running game. to control the ball, keep Baker and those receivers off the field, keep the Lions defense on the bench fresh, what have you. So that could be a factor in that game tomorrow night. And then the crowd will always be a factor. Monday night, the whole country's watching. So a lot of sidebars about that game.
Yeah, completely. And yeah, the crowd is probably going to be a lot more riled up than they already usually are because of the Brian Branch whole thing. And also, I mean, when you have depleted defensive backfield, the defensive line becomes all the more important. And this is a thing where it looks like Lee McNeil will probably play tomorrow. He's listed as questionable. He had full practice all week this week, so getting him back will help this pass rush so much. Aiden Hutchinson's gonna have his work cut out for him against one of the best tackles in the NFL, and Tristan Wirfs. So if they can really generate some pressure, I mean, Baker's not easy to bring down. He scrambles, got great pocket presence, can make plays outside of the pocket as well. But if the D line can have a really good game and make life easier for that defensive backfield, that'll just be one of the biggest factors for the Lions. And then I agree with you. I really do think we're gonna need a big game out of Gibbs and Montgomery to really shorten the game and limit Tampa Bay's chances to score.
Right, no doubt. And one other, reality going into the game, the Lions haven't lost 2 consecutive games under Dan Campbell for how many years? 3 years now? Yeah. Which is remarkable. So that has to be at least mentally a huge plus for the Lions, just a huge plus. So we're up against another break right now. We're going to have a real interesting guest coming up in about 5 minutes to talk about preparation for the Monday night game. We'll hit on some college activities when we get back on Gridiron Wrap. WJR 760, the great voice of the Great Lakes.
Welcome to the Douro River, Portugal's hidden gem, where every bend reveals a new postcard perfect view. Hi, this is Kevin Dietz, inviting you to join me next summer. We'll cruise through the heart of the Douro Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its terraced vineyards, historic villages, and golden sunsets. Savor world-class wines where port was born, sample Portuguese cuisine, and unwind aboard a river cruise designed for discovery and relaxation. From the vibrant streets of Porto to the quiet charm of Paso de Rego, every stop tells a story rich in culture, flavor, and tradition. Our trip includes premium hotel accommodations, 7 nights on board Emerald Cruises, gratuities, and much more. A Douro River cruise isn't just a journey, it's a taste of Portugal's soul. Ready to set sail? Visit WJRTravelClub.com now to learn more or reserve your cabin, or call Cruise and Tour at 800-383-3131.
Do you have a leaking roof? How about a wet basement? Do you need new windows? Does your home need a facelift?
If you need any of these things, the Inside Outside Guys have contractors for you at the InsideOutsideGuys.com.
From designing and building a new home to a simple kitchen remodel, whatever you need for your home, go to the InsideOutsideGuys.com for housing information you can trust.
Sponsored by Basements Plus.
Hi, I'm Steve Iverson with my wife, Amy. We are the proud owners of Basements Plus. Over the last 20 years, we have become the experts in basement finishing and foundation repair.
If you have a wet basement, cracked or bowed foundation walls, or looking to create a new lower level, we are the company for you.
We have perfected our processes to make it easy to create dry, usable, brag-worthy basements.
Our team of experts can help you love your basement.
Visit us today at basementsplus.com. That's basementsplus.com.
It's natural to have questions about what's next, from a diagnosis you never expected or a treatment plan that feels complicated and short on options. But you always have a choice. To believe your path forward should have clarity and confidence, with access to pioneering therapies and the latest clinical trials. Cancer is everything we do, and we do it all right here in Michigan. Visit Karmanos.org or call 1-800-CARMANOS.
Now's the time to plan an impeccable holiday party for your office, family, or friends. The most impressive holiday event starts at Detroit's most award-winning restaurant, Joe Muir Seafood. Indulge in fine dining and magnificent views at our Detroit Riverfront or Bloomfield Hills location. And if you book your holiday party with us by October 25th, you'll receive 10% off your event. They can customize any menu for any price point for groups of 4 to 175, and there's never a room charge. Joe Muir Seafood, a favorite of Paul W. Smith and Ryan Ermani. Visit joemuir.com for early booking rules and more information.
Whether you're starting an office, industrial, public sector, or healthcare real estate project, you're going to have questions.
How should we approach construction?
Are we getting the best real estate advice?
Lots of questions. At Plant Moran Real Point, our multidisciplinary team of real estate experts have decades of experience successfully guiding Michigan's largest real estate projects from concept to completion. Here's our point. To find the commercial real estate answers and guidance you need to succeed, let Plant Moran Real Point point the way. Learn more at pmrealpoint.com.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. A conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by the law firm of O'Reilly Rancilio, advising and representing school districts for all of their legal needs for more than 40 years. Get details at orlaw.com.
You're listening to Gridiron Wrap on WJR. Sponsored by Skinny Butcher Premium Proteins. Once again, with every football update you need, here are Bill Keenist and Alex Ziolkowski.
Welcome back to Gridiron Wrap. And as I mentioned going into the break, we have a very, very special guest on the show. We're going to talk a little bit about the massive undertaking that he and his team have for every Lions home game, but in particular for a game the magnitude of tomorrow night. And it's Troy Horning, who runs the team shop for Fanatics at Ford Field. Welcome, Troy. Troy. Well, we're trying to get through.
You must be busy.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Bill. You
great.
got me?
Great.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you for having me on, Bill. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And, I was with the Lions for parts of 4 decades, and the fever, passion, pitch of our fans at this time is as amazing as at any, period I can recall. And when you go to a Lions game there at Ford Field now, everybody has something Honolulu blue or silver on, and people don't necessarily think about it, but you're responsible for a lot of that. You're responsible for putting those fans in a mood and getting them, looking like part of the team and feeling like part of the team. And consequently, their passion at the games can affect the team. So, how does that hit you, especially with the big game like tomorrow night coming up?
It's incredible, and you hit the nail on the head. Honestly, the fans in Detroit are second to none. They're amazing. The gates to Ford Field open 2.5 hours before kickoff, and that's our busiest time in retail. But they come flooding in. They're ready to go. They're looking the part, and it's incredible. You have all these fan interactions every single game day. And honestly, like you would think, in the business that we're in, that there'd be people that get upset for whatever reason. But the mood and the overall attitude of our fans in Detroit are, they're the best, and they make that place rock. I've been in a lot of stadiums, and there's nothing like Ford Field when they're rocking and rolling, and we expect the same here coming up tomorrow night.
No doubt, I agree with you, and I wonder if you could give our listeners just an idea of how many items that you need to have available for a game like tomorrow night. I can't even venture a guess. And the one thing I'll sort of provide a caveat to that question is when we opened Ford Field back in 2002, the store wasn't even, a quarter of the size that it is today. And all that store has done is expand because of the service you and your staff provide and the interest in the team and just the volume of merchandise that the fans want. So how do you, can you put a number on it, or just give our listeners an idea of how you can prepare to be well stocked for a game like tomorrow night?
Well, to be honest with you, a lot goes into it, and it takes weeks. There's the preparation that we do on the ground behind the scenes is nothing short of spectacular, and it's a testament to the team that I have here. But to put it into perspective, yeah, about 4 years ago, we did a renovation when Fanatics came to do the retail at Ford Field. They did a renovation of the team store, doubled the size essentially. And we've made some changes recently as well. We've put in an RFID technology so that the customers can come and check out like lightning fast. And so we've reduced that transaction time, and there's no lines anymore. But the amount of product that we go through on a game day it's incredible. The jersey sales alone, our jerseys account for like 50% of our overall sales. So throughout the couple of weeks prior to, we're pressing jerseys, making jerseys, getting them sent in, merchandising. It's quite an operation, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Troy, I'll share with you something that I used to do over the years, back in the 90s, primarily when we had playoff caliber teams more often than not. But anytime I'd be out in public, no matter where I was, in state, out of state, but certainly if I were at a Tigers game or a Pistons game or, downtown for whatever reason, I would literally do a running, tally of how many Lions hats or shirts I saw, how many Tigers, how many Pistons, how many Wings. And when you're out in public today, you see so much Lions paraphernalia. I mean, apparel, it's everywhere. And I will say this, because I absolutely believe it. When the players are out in public and they see that may not have an overt, impact on them, but it has an intangible impact on them because they're human and they see that kind of support. And for you being the conduit to that has to make you, just like, wow, I'm a part of this. My team's a part of it. And we're doing something to help our team succeed.
You got that right, man. And there's a certain pride right now that goes into this team and their colors and their jerseys. And it's all over. I mean, I live in Canton, so I'm 30 minutes west. I'm close to Ann Arbor for Michigan. And it's amazing the shift over the last 4 years of the amount of gear that people are wearing, the Lions colors. And you wear it and people talk about it. And especially with social media nowadays too, you just can't get away from it. You see it all the time. And it's really cool.
And Troy, you've been in this business, I mean, I guess your whole life, right? With your family involvement. And, what's it been like from a personal standpoint and the involvement with the University of Michigan and now with the Lions?
Yeah, it was, I've been with the Lions now for 4 years. And prior to that, I did retail for U of M, at the MDen. And so, it's been my whole life. Even when I was growing up, before I was even probably supposed to be working, I was working Michigan football games with my dad, just creating those incredible memories. So now switching over to the Lions, it's been easy for me personally. I've always loved the Lions as a kid growing up. So the transition from Michigan to Detroit was seamless. And I'm really, really happy to be where I am now, for sure.
That's awesome. So what is your timeline for a game like tomorrow night? And also how many staffers, how many are on your team that you're the head coach of? And when do you get your teammates, if you will, stationed at Ford Field, and how long are you there after the game?
Yeah, so on game days, we've got a little over 100 total staff that we're responsible for, spread across 11 locations inside of Ford Field. But our core staff of 4 or 5, the best people in the business, my managers and whatnot, will be there tomorrow. Since it's a late game, gates open 4:30. We'll get there probably around, 11 or 12 and start getting after it. A couple of our locations require some serious physical labor the day of the game to kind of move stuff around. So a group of us get there early and the rest get there a couple hours before gates, and we all pull in the same direction and we get it done. So
that's beautiful. So everybody out there listening, Troy and his crew are at the stadium getting ready 7-8 hours before kickoff. Think of that. And you don't get a break. You don't get a break until well after after the game.
Right. It's a long day. I always have my Fitbit, my Garmin tracker on, and if I'm doing short of 30,000 steps in a day, I didn't work hard enough. But it's a long day, but it's exciting. it goes by fast, and we really have a great time with it.
Now repeat that: 30,000 steps on a work day for you at Ford Field. That's
a game day is about 30,000. Yep.
I think everybody can relate to that. I really, really do. And Fanatics, being the parent company, has just taken the entire sports world by storm. And, you know, when you say Fanatics anymore, that's like saying Nike or Coca-Cola or any of the brands that are synonymous with success in our country. So it's gotta be wonderful to have the backing and the impact of a brand and a company like Fanatics.
Yeah, that's a fact. Fanatics now has somewhere, I'd say about 50% of the NFL.
Wow.
Is run by Fanatics, multi-billion-dollar company, and great leadership. Great to be a part of this company. Very, very lucky to do that and to have the support that we have behind us. To, you know, I mean, we can get the best stuff and get it in front of the fans and make sure they can get access to every player jersey that they could ever want. That's our goal, and we do a good job getting it done.
Okay, the most important question before we take our next break: how in the world do you manage your people to keep working when the Lions are down by 3? They're driving in the last minute of the game, and everybody wants to watch what's going on. I mean, that was one thing, even in my previous roles. It's so hard, but I'm sure a part of their desire to work for you and Fanatics is because of their passion for sports in general and the Lions in particular.
That's a fact. Everyone that works for us is a Lions fan, and if they're not, they quickly become one. But thank goodness we got TVs in every single one of our locations, and so when it's getting down to it, you'll find us huddled around the TV watching if we can't sneak and watch it, you know, right in front of our eyes. But we do our best to watch it and enjoy it and get the job done at the same time.
That's great. And Alex is our U of M expert on the show, so. You two, you may have crossed paths before at Ann Arbor, and I'm sure Alex has a lot of that maize and blue merchandise that you and your family sold over the years.
Fantastic. A good win yesterday for Michigan as well. So
no doubt.
Hopefully the Lions can take care of business tomorrow, and we can reverse what happened last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend was not a good one. So let's do that. And we thank you, Troy, for giving our listeners and fans everywhere a little insight into the massive undertaking you and your team are faced with for every Lions home game, and what a tremendous job you do as well. So thank you for spending some time with us, Troy. We're up against a break, and we will be back shortly on Gridiron Wrap, WJR 760, the great voice of the Great Lakes.
This holiday season, celebrate in style at the Capitol Grill in Troy. Whether you're hosting an intimate gathering or a large corporate event, the Capitol Grill offers a sophisticated atmosphere, exceptional service, and a dining experience like no other. From their expertly crafted steaks, seafood, and world-class wines, your holiday party will be nothing short of extraordinary. The private dining rooms at the Capitol Grill provide the perfect backdrop for making memories with colleagues, family, and friends. Book your holiday event today and let the Capitol Grill make your celebration unforgettable. Spaces are filling up fast, so don't wait. This holiday, give the gift of great taste at the Capitol Grill, where exceptional dining meets festive elegance. Call now at 248-649-5300. That's 248-649-5300.
If you're seriously injured in a slip and fall accident, why would you hire a big TV law firm that advertises everything and specializes in nothing? There's only one law firm that has handled hundreds of slip and fall cases, Michigan Slip and Fall Lawyers. We've recovered some of the very largest slip and fall settlements in Michigan at Michigan Slip and Fall Lawyers. Slip and fall accidents is all we do. Go to falllaw.com now for your free consultation. That's falllaw.com.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. A conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education.
Sponsored by Clark Construction Company, thoughtfully planning and building educational facilities to foster innovation where students and faculty thrive. Visit clarkcc.com.
Imagine this. You're gliding down a peaceful river past sun-drenched vineyards and centuries-old villages. Welcome to Portugal's Douro River, one of Europe's most beautiful and relaxing cruises. Hey, it's Kevin Dietz. I'm heading to Portugal in July 2026, and you are invited. We'll spend a night in Lisbon exploring this stunning capital before boarding our river cruise ship to visit charming towns, enjoy authentic Portuguese cuisine, and sip world-famous port wine right where it's made. No rushing, no crowds, just breathtaking views, warm hospitality, and time to truly unwind. This trip is perfect for travelers who love culture, scenery, and a slower pace. Whether you're celebrating retirement, an anniversary, or simply ready for your next adventure, Portugal's Douro River is calling. Visit WJRTravelClub.com for complete details or to reserve your cabin, call 800-383-3131 today.
At Average Al's Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs, our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Ryan Radke here from Westwood One. Marcel Reese will join me this week for Sunday Night Football from Santa Clara when the San Francisco 49ers host the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Penix and 3-2 Atlanta are flying high after Monday night's win against the Bills. Now they'll face a 49ers squad at 4-2, but dealing with injuries and a loss last week. Join us for all the action on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football on WJR is sponsored by RelyOnTryon.com and by Femininio Law.
You're listening to Gridiron Wrap on WJR, sponsored by Skinny Butcher Premium Proteins. Once again, with every football update you need, here are Bill Keenist and Alex Ziolkowski.
Welcome back, everyone, to Gridiron Wrap. And before Alex takes a look at all the big college games yesterday, let's give you an update on the games going on. Boy, there's changes every time we leave for a break and come back. The Giants scored again, and they're up 26-8. The Broncos did score on a fluky type of play, tip pass in the end zone, but it's 26-8 Giants with about 8 minutes to go in the game, 7 minutes to go in the game. Chargers are starting to make a bit of a run in LA, 11 minutes to go in that game, and the Colts still lead 38, but the margin is a little tighter, 38-24. With 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And the Cowboys are pouring it on now against their arch rival from Washington, the Commanders. Cowboys are up 41-15 with 5 minutes to go in the third. And like we talked about before, that dual receiving threat of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and, they got a good running game. Good tight end play. Prescott's playing very well. The Cowboys are definitely ascending the mountain. And the Packers and Cardinals remain tied early in the fourth quarter. It's now 20-20, Green Bay and Arizona in the fourth quarter, as we said. So, Alex, you have a lot of college football to discuss from the weekend.
Yeah, talk about a massive Saturday games and Friday night. There's some big things, but yeah, let's start with local and my beloved Michigan Wolverines. Talk about a get-right game if they've ever needed one. After an embarrassing loss at USC last weekend, the Wolverines came out hot and just pretty much dominated a game. They beat the Washington Huskies 24-7. They did everything they were poor at the week before. They improved at this week. The rumors and what's been going around is that it's a tough week inside the building. Coaches holding a lot of accountability, and it really showed yesterday. It was was Bryce Underwood's best game as a Wolverine. He went 21 for 27 with 230 yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And then Michigan got it done on the ground. But more impressively was how well his defense played. This is a pretty good Washington offense, and Michigan held them to 1.7 yards a carry and just did everything. They fit the run better. They were better at their tackles. They were better against screens, which is something they really struggled against at USC. So overall, big win for Michigan, and it's something that really was a tipping point for the season, because you look at these college teams and programs, if they let 1, maybe 2 games in a row, they can collapse. Look what happened with this Penn State squad. So big win for Michigan, and came at a very important time for them.
Yeah, and what do you say about Michigan State? I mean, it's ironic that a lot of the stories, a lot of the reports on the game, I don't want to say they were sort of like empathetic, but they tried to point out some of the positives early in the game when the Spartans stayed with one of the best teams in the country. But the future, I mean, it's got to be tough. It's got to be real tough in the football offices at MSU.
Yeah, vibes have to be down there, but they did stay around with Indiana longer than most people were expecting. But this Indiana team is just insane. They moved up to number 2 in the AP poll earlier today when that came out, and they're great on both sides of the ball. That defensive line is just so hard to do anything against and get anything going. And then Fernando Mendoza might be entering the Heisman conversation here.
Yeah.
He had 24 for 28 on the day with 332 yards and 4 touchdowns. This offense and this team is just humming. And if you look at Indiana's schedule, to talk about them for a second here, they don't have that many hard teams. So it's looking like they're going to be playing in the Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis down the road, assuming they take care of business, which you can never guarantee that in college.
No.
But man, Cignetti hasn't really ever dropped a bad game at Indiana yet. So, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable. I mean, 3 or 4 years ago, 90% of the people listening to any sports talk show in Michigan probably never heard of Coach Cignetti. Western Pennsylvania, his family is very popular back there with some of their local successes. His father, head coach at West Virginia back in the 70s when he replaced Bobby Bowden, who was at West Virginia before he went to Florida State. But just remarkable that they're where they are. And of course, with the Penn State job open and a lot of chatter about that, he signs a massive new contract with Indiana. I mean, never say never, but it certainly, and he has said all the right things. It certainly looks like he's going to be there for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, he just became the 3rd highest paid coach in the sport behind Kirby Smart and Ryan Day. So, yeah, it looks like he's going to be there a long time. He's already the best coach in school history through about like 20 games. So he's on a fast track to a statue there. And with how well they're doing, why leave something you've already built? So, yeah, I understand him staying there completely. And speaking about them moving up to the number 2 rank, on Friday night, there is one of the classic college football trap game upsets. They always happen on when you don't play on Saturday.
Yeah.
If you're a good team playing on a Thursday or Friday night, it seems like these upsets and trap games happen. When the Louisville Cardinals took down the Miami Hurricanes 24-21 at Miami, this Miami team has played really well so far, but Mario Cristobal's teams, they're known to drop a game they shouldn't here and there. It's happened ever since he's been at Oregon, and this is another one of them. They were about even in all the yardage and the nominal stats, but Louisville they were better. They were 1 for 1 on 4th down. They didn't allow many sacks, which if you are following college football, this Miami defensive line is one of the best in the sport, between guys like Ruben Bain and Justin Scott, the defensive tackle. They got first round talents. They're really hard to do anything against. And Louisville did a really good job keeping them in check all night. So big upset and big shakeup in the college football world.
Yeah. And we were talking about Indiana, another school in that state had a massive win last night. Notre Dame beat an arch rival, one of the most storied rivalries in all of sports, truly, going back decades, the USC and Notre Dame games, but really a big win for the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, big win, and this game did not feel nearly as close as the score implied. Notre Dame was doing a great job all night, forcing turnovers. They just felt like they were in control. CJ Carr, outside of one boneheaded interception, played a pretty good game, and he's looking like he's developing really well for a redshirt freshman, and he could be so nice getting drafted high. And then Jeremiah Love might be the best running back in college football, as much as, I would love to back Justice Haynes and all that. Jeremiah Love is just playing great right now with 230 yards. And then another another 37 receiving. So he's playing great. And USC, this offense is explosive, but Lincoln Riley had some questionable play calls. He threw it on 4th and inches before, tried a trick play on 4th down earlier in the game. So probably a game that he would like to have back, in all honesty. But yeah, Notre Dame pulled out a gritty win there in the rain.
Yeah, Notre Dame's on track for strong consideration for the playoffs, and certainly USC still has a shot. Miami. That's the beauty of the expanded playoffs. We're up against the break again. The first hour has flown by, but you are listening to WJR 760 Gridiron Wrap on the great voice of the Great Lakes.
The following is presented by Long-Term Care Family.
Listen up, Michigan. Here they are, the top 3 reasons no one is planning for long-term care. Number 3, I'm healthy. I'm not going to need it. Folks, I hate to burst your bubble, but longtermcare.gov says that an astounding 70% of us age 65 and over will need care. Number 2, Medicare pays for that, right? Wrong. Medicare is health insurance and does not cover custodial care, which is long-term care. So unless you want to spend down your personal savings, you need a plan. And the number 1 reason people don't plan for long-term care, my spouse or my kids are going to take care of me. Folks, I urge you to reconsider if that's what you're thinking. Don't do that to your kids. Wouldn't you rather leave a legacy for your family and not a burden? Call today and get your free long-term care survival kit. Wait till you see all the options you have. Johnny, tell them how to get their kit.
Just call certified long-term care advisor Alex Lydell. 248-469-4669. That's 248-469-4669.
760 WJR. Custom built for Detroit.
I'm Ann Thomas. Congratulations to the 2025 Women Who Lead class. Krista Tanner, president of ITC Holdings Corp., says she's received a warm Detroit welcome.
I love it here. The winters don't bother me. I love Michigan. I love Detroit. I love the DIA. Love the Lions, have quickly become #1 Lion fans.
Special thanks to University of Michigan Health von Voigtlander Women's Hospital for supporting Women Who Lead.
Mary went to the Inside Outside guys and sent us an email about a company that tried to charge her $30,000 for a small crack in her basement wall.
And the company we sent her to told her she didn't need any company.
An honest basement waterproofing company like all the other companies we have at the InsideOutsideGuys.com 24/7 for housing information you can trust.
Sponsored by McFarland Painting.
Are your kitchen cabinets looking tired and outdated? Don't replace them. Refresh them with McFarland Painting's professional cabinet painting. McFarland's award-winning cabinet painters transform your cabinets with a smooth factory-quality finish that makes your kitchen look brand new at a fraction of the cost. With years of trusted experience right here in Michigan, McFarland Painting guarantees quality craftsmanship, on-time service, and results you'll love. So why wait? Give your kitchen a makeover it deserves. Schedule today at McFarlandPainting.com. McFarland Painting. Painting done right every time.
Start your day by hitting play on
5 Things First Thing with JR Morning's Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
Get the day's top 5 stories in just 5 minutes, delivered right to your device. Subscribe to JR Morning's 5 Things First Thing wherever you get your podcasts.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes. WJR AM and WDVD HD2, Detroit.
Casting the ceasefire. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. Israel says it's resumed enforcement of the ceasefire in Gaza after Hamas attacked and killed 2 of its soldiers in what it calls a blatant violation of the ceasefire. The IDF responded with airstrikes, killing at least 26 Palestinians.
According to the Israelis, again at this hour, the ceasefire is back on track, but we do know U.S. officials are headed to the region this week, including President Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, Vice President J.D. Vance. The Americans are going to work to try to get this ceasefire back on track and push Hamas to release the remaining bodies of hostages that are still held inside Gaza. Now, once that takes place, they will enter into phase 2 of this agreement, and you'll have regional negotiators, including the Qataris and the Egyptians, work to try to implement this international stabilization force that will help to lower the tension inside Gaza and ultimately usher in that technocratic government that is part of this 20-point peace plan crafted by President Trump himself.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. President Trump says he's cutting off aid to the country of Colombia because it won't stop drug production. That follows another U.S. military strike on an alleged drug smuggling boat.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth posting video just a few hours ago showing the 7th strike on a suspected drug-carrying boat that the State Department says is from a known terrorist group called the National Liberation Army that was founded back in 1997, is known by its Spanish acronym ELM. The terrorist group operates in Colombia and Venezuela. Hegseth says that boat had been on the radar of U.S. intelligence agencies for past drug smuggling. It had drugs on board.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. America's listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcast.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
In what has become a major embarrassment for France, thieves broke into the Louvre Museum in Paris today and stole priceless jewels.
The French Interior Minister said the masked intruders were prepared. They had scouted out the venue, saying they used a basket lift mounted to a truck, broke a window, and cut panes with a disc cutter. Once inside, they broke into display cases, stealing 9 items, according to the Paris prosecutor, including tiaras, necklaces, earrings, and brooches. But one of those items was later found outside. French media outlets say it was the crown of Napoleon III's wife, Empress Eugenie.
Fox's Stephanie Bennett reporting. Election day in New Jersey inches closer, and the gap is closing as well in the polls. Fox's CB Cotton has the numbers.
Both candidates, Republican Jack Ciattarelli and Democrat Mikey Sherrill, are leaning into those big names from their respective parties to try and reach voters. Today, Sherrill hit the trail with Maryland Governor Wes Moore, and yesterday, the Democratic hopeful, she attended one of those No Kings protests, this time in Montclair, New Jersey. And she vowed to fight President Trump tooth and nail. The race to the governor's mansion has grown increasingly bitter and personal between her and Ciattarelli. Our latest Fox poll shows her lead shrinking now. She's up just 4 points over Ciattarelli, and this is down from 7 points in late September.
And Ciattarelli promised that he will work with President Trump and gave his second term, the president's second term, a A grading. But when asked during the debate, Sherrill gave the administration an F. And a healthcare strike in Oregon, California, and Hawaii is over. The 5-day strike was by thousands of registered nurses and others at Kaiser Permanente. And the company said it's welcomed back about 30,000 employees who were on strike from Tuesday until today. I'm Carmen Roberts. This is Fox News.
Michigan Auto Law, the law firm that puts people over everything.
What means more to us than being called the best in the business by Michigan Lawyers Weekly? Hearing a real client who says,
after practicing law for 30 years, I have had cases with basically every lawyer and law firm in Michigan. When my wife was in a car accident, I called Michigan Auto Law. They specialize in auto injury cases, and it's clear that they're the best. They're the lawyer's lawyer, and I wouldn't go anywhere else.
Michigan Auto Law, people over everything. Visit autolaw.com.
Hi, Paul W. Smith. Being controlled by your pain is no way to live. Trust me, I know. I've been in that kind of pain. And guess what? So has Dr. Saul Kogan of the Nerve and Disc Institute, which is why he truly relates to his patients. Some who have literally crawled into his office because they were in such debilitating pain. And it's also why he worked for years to develop his 100% natural, non-invasive, non-surgical intradisc neutrosis treatment for sciatica, spinal stenosis, bulging, herniated, and degenerative discs, and neuropathy, which has over a 90% success rate based on 2 peer-reviewed medical studies. There is a lasting solution to heal back, neck, and sciatic pain, and it's at the Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, and Grand Blanc. The first 50 callers mentioning WJR will get 50% off their treatment plan in October. Call 586-416-DISC now. 586-416-3472. Mention WJR.
Celebrate Halloween this year at Nightlight's new Halloween light show. Drive through a magical, non-scary light show at Michigan International Speedway that's perfect for all ages. Thursdays through Sundays in October from dusk to 9 p.m. Learn more at niteliteshows.com.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com. You're about to get a helmet full of football coverage. High school, college, pro. It's Gridiron Wrap on 760 WJR. Sponsored by Skinny Butcher Premium Proteins. Now here are Pro Football's 2025 Hall of Fame Award of Excellence honoree Bill Keenist and football analyst Alex Ziolkowski.
Welcome back, everyone, and we are going to update the late games, and one in particular is getting tight. The Broncos scored a touchdown and a 2-point to make it 26-23. The New York Giants lead with 3 minutes and 51 seconds to go. So obviously the Broncos can try for the onside kick now, or try to hold them and force a punt, get the ball back. But, not a great comeback, obviously, by the Broncos, but it'll test the mettle of the Giants as a team and certainly the rookie quarterback. I remember a game sort of like this, Alex, Matthew Stafford's rookie year, and it was his first win, and it was against Washington, and it was a similar game where we got the ball with a 3-point lead late. We're playing Washington. They want to stop us and have a chance to win the game. And on a third down, when most of the people at the stadium and probably in the press box thought we would run the ball to deplete more time off the clock, Matthew comes out and throws a pass down the seam to the tight end. Actually, it was a crossing pattern to the tight end, just laid it in perfectly and got the first down, and we ran out the clock. So it'll be interesting to see what the Giants can do with the kickoff. Colts seem to have the game in hand now. They're up 38-24. They stopped the Chargers deep on a drive that would have cut it to a 1-touchdown score. But the Colts have the ball in the lead, 38-24 with just over 3 minutes to go in the game. And Dallas continues to lead Washington 41-22. The Cardinals are doing Lion fans a favor, or continue to. They're leading the Packers 23-20 with about 8 minutes to go in the game, and they have the ball. So we'll update you on anything that changes. But Alex, I did want to get your opinion, on the game next week, the big game here, certainly Michigan and Michigan State. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so obviously a heated rivalry game. Both schools really want it. I think this is a game where it's obviously so important for both schools. Michigan has to win out if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. And if you're looking for Jonathan Smith, this might be a game where he's coaching for his job. You have to imagine a win over Michigan buys us some time, something super important up there in East Lansing. And if Michigan comes out and puts on a great performance and really just kind of gives them a smackdown, that will be that might cost him his job. One of the big things to look for, and this is something they kind of struggled with yesterday, is the RPOs, because that's something that Indiana runs a ton of in their offense, almost like 25 a game at a certain rate. And Bryce Underwood has gotten really good at it. Yesterday, he had some really good jobs where he really sells the fake and the give to the running back, pulls in, just delivers a strike. And he's gotten so good at those reads and so good at all that. So that's probably the thing that if, the defensive staff in East Lansing, they really have to look for next week. And then obviously they just need to find find some staple plays on offense to finally sustain drives and put some points up on the board, because this is a Michigan defense that just had a very good showing against another good offense and did a good job against a mobile quarterback in Damon Williams, which is something the Wolverines have had trouble with in the past. So they have to find some creative ways to use Childs and hope he stays healthy throughout the game.
Right. No, I think it has so many components to that game. And I think you're right about Jonathan Smith and MSU, especially with what seems to be the turmoil in college football right now. A couple more coaches were let go over the weekend. It just seems like, the coach's tenure isn't nearly as long as it used to be. And money obviously plays a role in that, I'm sure, on both sides of the argument. One thing I wanted to get your perspective of regarding Michigan State rivalry. I grew up in Pittsburgh, and we had Pitt and Penn State, Pitt and West Virginia. I was always aware of Ohio State and Michigan. But since I've been here for 40 years, something like that, here's how this rivalry has hit me. When it comes to, and I'm looking at Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State. I don't think there's a team that Michigan would rather beat than Ohio State. I mean, there's no question.
Yeah.
But with that being said, and again, my opinion, I don't think there's a team that they would hate to lose to more than Michigan State. Does that make any sense to you? I mean, what's your thought of looking at all three of those teams?
I get what you're saying. So personally, me, diehard, the Ohio State game is my most important day of the year. It's my favorite day of the year. That's the game I care the most about. Ultimately, the one thing that I get what you're saying is, as much as the Ohio State game hurts to lose and really affects the season, it affects the whole vibe around the program, is you have to live around Spartans for the most part, unless you happen to live in Ann Arbor, right? You have to go into work, you have to go to school or whatever, and you have to talk about it. So that is probably one of the more annoying factors about that game that really happens. And also just in the recent years, the Michigan State game has just become a really nasty rivalry. Ultimately, in the Michigan-Ohio State game, there's kind of this mutual respect where both teams, it's a rivalry and they clearly hate each other. They fought after the game ended last year, right? Like, I'm not trying to say that, but both teams almost just respect how much it means for their season and all that. The Michigan State game, they just want to hit each other. They just want to fight all game long. And it makes it interesting because it's always close, no matter how good either of the two teams are for the most part. So it's just one of the really interesting aspects of an in-state rivalry that you really can't recreate once you cross state lines, even if it is a regional thing, like, Michigan, Ohio State, or either of these two schools against Notre Dame.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, we're fortunate really in this state to have, really, Michigan, and even Michigan State, Ohio State has become a big deal for different reasons, perhaps. But I know Michigan State has gone down to Columbus and won some incredible games, incredibly important games, beating, Ohio State when they were ranked number one. But it's going to be one of the biggest games rivalry-wise in the country this weekend. And Michigan, they go into East Lansing, they got to be prepared, because I don't think it's an understatement to say a Spartan win would make their season.
Oh, completely. Yeah. And this Michigan team, as good as they played yesterday, one of the reasons for that is one of the first games where, outside of a few drops, they really didn't shoot themselves in the foot at any point, which has been something that really plagued Michigan, whether it be just, trying to go for a big hit instead of wrapping up and make the tackle, or just some stupid penalties here and there. So, I mean, in a rivalry game, that all becomes much harder to kind of keep yourself composed and handle that. So, in a hostile environment, Michigan really needs to be aware of that.
Yeah. And not to interrupt the flow of our college talk, but as we said, we would update our listeners if anything happened, and something definitely just happened. Our producer extraordinaire, Daniel Gahalen, pointed out that Jackson Dart threw a pick in Giants territory against the Broncos, and now the Broncos have the ball. And let's see what we got here. 26-23. They have the ball, and we'll update you when we come back. But the ever-changing world of NFL football, that's for sure. So we will get back to you right after this break on WJR, the great voice of the Great Lakes.
Hi friends, Bill Golling here, and it's been a great year for the expanding Golling Automotive family. Now even more of you can feel and experience the Golling difference by stopping by the new Golling Chevrolet on Michigan Avenue in Wayne, or one of our 4 Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram locations in Grosse Pointe, Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, and Roseville, or visit Golling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham, Golling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Golling Toyota in Warren, or Golling Kia in Madison Heights are always at Golling.com.
Since 1980, Grand Traverse Resort and Spa has been a Michigan vacation tradition where family memories last for generations. Your perfect Michigan vacation starts here. Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Book your getaway at grandtraverseresort.com.
Looking for heart-pounding action and unforgettable family fun? Welcome to USA Hockey Arena, where champions are made and memories are born. From thrilling youth tournaments to elite national development team matchups, it's more than a rink. It's the pulse of American hockey. Whether it's a night out with your family, a birthday party for a child, or corporate event for your business, USA Hockey Arena offers amazing hockey and incredible hospitality. Unmatched value at an unbeatable price. Get more hockey at USA Hockey Arena. USAHockeyArena.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AUTO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AUTO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code AUTO for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by respected educator Dr. Robert Livernoy. It's a conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by Wakely Associates Architects. The highest performing school facilities start with premier architectural design. Wakely Associates Architects, trusted since 1951.
NFL football, sponsored by RelyOnTryon.com. Also sponsored by Femininio Law.
Sunday night, it's the Falcons against the 49ers at 7:30 p.m.
NFL football, 760 WJR. You're listening to Gridiron Wrap on WJR, sponsored by Skinny Butcher Premium Proteins. Once again, with every football update you need, here are Bill Keenist and Alex Ziolkowski.
Well, welcome back, and we have a big development in Denver. The Broncos have gone ahead of the Giants with a late touchdown, and it was a quarterback sweep basically that put the Broncos ahead. An amazing comeback, devastation for the Giants, but they still have time, still have a chance. But what an amazing turn of events in the Mile High City, and then in the Green Bay Arizona game, Arizona attempted a 4th and 2 right around midfield with a 23-20 lead, and it seemed a little maybe it was 4th and 1, but it just seemed like a pretty high risk, and the Packers stuffed them. Yeah. And then a few plays later, the Packers have a 4th and 2 in field goal range, and Jordan Love hits the tight end on a very similar pass to the one I described with Matthew Stafford back in 2009. Coming a crossing route right near the sideline to give Green Bay a first down. They now have it. Green Bay has it 2nd and 5 at the Arizona 9 with 2 minutes to go in the game. Cardinals winning 23-20. The Giants and Denver game As I mentioned, Denver has gone ahead 30-26 with just under 2 minutes to go. So just some crazy, games as far as back and forth, and somewhat shocking turns of events, if you will. But that's football.
Maybe Matt LaFleur also has Gridiron Wrap on his headset right now, stealing the play call you were talking about earlier. But it's going to be really interesting to see how Jackson Dart responds here, because this whole Broncos comeback was sparked by an interception he threw. They were up 11 points, I believe, and then the Broncos came out in kind of a double mug look, similar to what Brian Flores and the Vikings love to do, where all the linebackers walk up to the line and everyone's showing blitz, and the pressure got home, and then a linebacker's right there in the window. He didn't see him and gave him a short field. Now they're down. So this will be a big character check for Jackson Dart and see if he can lead this game-winning drive.
No doubt. This would be incredible if he could do that after having the big lead, falling behind. And I'll tell you one thing, and again, obviously, I'm not following each game as closely as I might, but it seems like the tight ends today have had huge plays in so many different games. They've come in up big. For the Packers, for the Cardinals, for the Cowboys. So all the teams really. And I just think it's interesting. And the Packers just scored with 1:50 to go up 26-23. Sorry for the abrupt interrupt there, but obviously an important game to Lions fans. And as you said earlier, Alex, this has sort of been the MO of the Cardinals. Play tight, tough, and then lose it at the end. Not that they've lost it. There's still 1:50 to go in the game, and a very important PAT coming up to make it a 4-point game, which would necessitate a touchdown by the Cardinals, not a field goal to tie it. So just a crazy day.
Yeah, it's a crazy late window as well. Just all these games have been really interesting all around. But yeah, it's going to be cool to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, it really is.
Also,
one go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. One thing on your tight end coming, I just feel like all these guys are getting so much better at catching the ball and everything. And with how much smaller the defense needed to get with the spread revolution and the speed that's required, you're just seeing the offenses, in this constant cat and mouse game between the two teams, just get these good tight ends and make them more of an integral part of their offenses.
That's a great point, because you're right with the spread and the speed needed by the back four, the back seven in many respects of the defense. The tight ends, if you have an athletic tight end, and they're all athletic, it seems now, you can really make a difference. And we're seeing that today. One thing that I wanted to mention, Alex, is a hat off to our first place team in Detroit, the Red Wings. How about that? 5 in a row. They are in first place in the Atlantic Division. Yeah, it's early. We know all that. But 5 straight wins, what a great start for Todd McClellan and the Red Wings. So that's good to hear. And the Pistons are about to jump it up, if you will, for the start of their season. Just a couple other notes before we sign off. Adrian continues to roll in the MIAA, 7-0, another big win. And they're now ranked nationally as well. Fair State continues to roll, number 1 ranked team in Division II, another big win. And Saginaw Valley with a huge victory over arch rival Grand Valley at Allendale, 20-19. That's a huge win.
Mm-hmm.
And Saginaw Valley and Ferris are both 3-0 in the conference, so that sets up a big matchup down the road. And perhaps the last thing, and a very important thing that we'll talk about, is kudos to Northern Michigan with its first win in 1,071 days.
Wow.
Its first win since 2022 in a decisive 42-21 win over Roosevelt. And in that game, Northern ran for 538 yards.
Wow.
So I think the game took about 16 minutes to play, running the ball like that. But 538 yards, but it's wonderful for Northern to get that win. And we didn't even talk about all the great high school scores and games, but we're entering, 1 week to go in the regular season. Playoffs around the corner, so that's going to be wonderful to talk about, Alex.
Yeah, completely. And just to give a quick, summary of some of those big wins. Cass Tech beat Detroit King 35-19, wins 4th straight public school league title. In one of the games of the week, we're going to shout out a kicker. High school kicker ended up being the difference maker in the Novi Northville game, which Novi won 19-16. Kicker Aiden Cook made a 36-yard field goal as time expired, and then made a 46-yarder to tie, and also hit a 45-yarder earlier in the game as well. So shout out to them.
Incredible. Yeah.
And then, one of the other big games of the week, Brother Rice defeated Orchard Lake St. Mary's 43-31 to snap their losing streak against them.
Yeah.
And this is interesting. Brother Rice, they're starting 12 freshmen and sophomores on their team right now. So to pull off that upset, that's going to be a team to watch the next few years in this state if they have that much young talent. And then, another one of the really big games of the week is 8-0 Grand Blanc dominated Davison with a 57-29 win to clinch their second consecutive conference title. And their quarterback threw for 420 yards and had 6 total touchdowns on the night.
That's amazing. And Grand Blanc, you can't help but wonder, obviously there's an emotional reality to that community right now. And nothing joins the community. Nothing brings the community together better than sports. And we've seen that in Detroit with the Lions and Wings and Tigers and Pistons, Michigan State, throughout the state. So, you got to really think there's something potentially very special going on in Grand Blanc right now. Unfortunately for us, we are out of time. Boy, did that fly by.
Flies by.
But don't forget the game tonight. And obviously, a lot of our listeners will be tuned into the Lions tomorrow night, and we'll bring you all the updates we can, as we usually do next Sunday on Gridiron Wrap. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks to our great producer, Danny Gahalen, and most of all, thanks to Skinny Butcher. We wouldn't be here without your support, and to our listeners. Have a great week, everybody. You have been listening to Gridiron Wrap on WJR 760, the great voice of the Great Lakes.
Following is presented by Long-Term Care Family.
Listen up, Michigan. Here they are, the top 3 reasons no one is planning for long-term care.